Welcome to On the Road to Scotland with the Dunedin High School Scottish Highlanders as we head to Scotland. This is the final item before we fly out in a series of flights starting next Sunday through Monday, and then on Tuesday, or actually Monday, Tuesday US, we perform at Stirling Castle with our first performance. At this time, for the last performance on US soil before going to Scotland, the 2014-2015 Scottish Highlander.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would please rise for the playing of our national anthem as well as the Flower of Scotland. thank you all for coming out tonight. My name is Ian Black. I'm the Director of Bands and Orchestra here at Dunedin High School. And if you would have told me 4 years ago that we were going to be traveling to Scotland for real, if this was actually going to happen, I really, quite honestly, I would have laughed in disbelief. It just wasn't going to happen. There were a lot of great intentions, some great people that were working at that time. Just unfortunately wasn't going to be a reality. But with all the parents that we've had, the leadership, gentleman you met earlier this evening, Mr. Steve Beatty and our principal who came in with me at the same time, Mr. Hepburn, we were able to actually get this thing going and get off the ground. And very soon we will be actually off the ground, up in the air, flying overseas. And it's just going to be such an amazing adventure. The kids that you see in front of you are the ones who are going. There's a few who aren't able to be here tonight, but we have up here incoming freshmen as well. My incoming freshmen that are participating with us, can you like just wave and then fall back in? My incoming freshmen. And there are several more too. Unfortunately, they couldn't come with us. We also have the privilege of taking alumni with us. We're trying to build a strong band program here, and that comes from people who believe in what we do. And a lot of those people come from the program. They know what we try to preach here as far as all the time that we spend together is special, that everyone's contribution matters, and they understand the skills that they get to build through participation in our group, and they want to come back and help out, so we're delighted to have them. Can my alumni please wave and be recognized? This past year, if you haven't heard, I'll just quickly recap it. Our marching band earned straight superior ratings. Our jazz band earned straight superior ratings. Our wind ensemble earned straight superior ratings. Let's see, we had a concert band for the second time since I've been here, and comprised primarily of freshmen, and they earned straight excellent ratings. And then our wind ensemble, for the first time in Dunedin High School history, traveled to state MPA and earned a superior rating, and they were the only band in the county to do so, which was awesome. We had a record number for our school of solo and ensemble entries as well. If you participated in solo and ensemble this year, could you please just wave your hand around if you were in the solo ensemble? A lot of those kids went to state level and also earned superior ratings. I think we got just a stupid, this was just a crazy great year for us. And of course, our pipe band, if you have been living under a rock, they have also done extremely well. Taking, geez, was it like every single possible first place that we got? Just, that's it? Oh man, that's a shame. First place in every competition. We also had, I believe the figure, I'm gonna get it wrong, I'll just overestimate. I think we got like 1,000, that's way high, but I'll say it anyway, 1,000 medals at competitions. And I'm gonna leave it there because that's a great number to say. It was a lot, trust me. All these kids, the pipers, and some of them are playing their other instrument up here tonight. They also competed, and drummers and dancers competed, and a ton of medals our kids are earning. And sometimes they're going up against seasoned adults. What we're about to perform for you, the next item on our list, is going to be part of that set that we play when we go to Stirling Castle. It's not the entirety of it, but it is just part of it. These are the songs that they won't be marching to, so they're kind of the slower ones, the prettier ones. One song on there, I'll tell you a fun story about it, because we're not going to play it tonight, unfortunately. It's Scots Way. I'll tell you why. We were getting all the music ready for this trip, and so I know that the band's been to Scotland before. There's probably people out here that have been to Scotland with this band before. So I'm going through all the old music, and gosh, Scots Way is there, and I think, how cool is this? Now I don't have to stay up and have a whole bunch of caffeine and write all this music. So I just hand it out to the kids, and away we go, and we're rehearsing it. Come to find out, it was written just for band and not for band and pipe. So when we put it together, we found out they're playing in 2 different keys. And as much as I think we would all love to hear that, we won't be playing that one for you tonight, unfortunately. But we do have all the other ones, so please sit back and enjoy. If you look around the room, some of you are familiar with our auditorium. You'll notice that there's a lot of stuff missing. It's just like the worst opportune time for them too. If you don't know about our auditorium, we have tons of tartans that get to hang up here. At this time though, the school is actually going to be entirely repainted. So everything's having to come down off the walls into painted surface. What that means for us too is, unfortunately, we couldn't get back behind that curtain. Because you don't want to see all the stuff that's piled away from the walls behind that curtain that Mr. Black and the band students, we're not even going to try to move. We're just going to wait till the painters are done. It's been an exciting week with no air conditioning. It's been an exciting week sight reading 20 tunes with no air conditioning. But these kids have come together and they've pulled it off. And the group you see left up here in front of you is our Drumline, and they have some things that while we're on parade, we're going to give them a little taste of America. This is not something that you might find over there on a regular basis to have an American-style drumline, but they're going to play a few cadences that they will be marching with on parade. So that's function of that A, which is great, is we're getting those students ready in a few months to be able to perform on the field. And even though we're going to have some personnel changes, it's still just a great way to keep the fundamentals going, because it sounds like a lot of fun and a lot of really loud stuff, but the things that they do to prepare to play all of that actually require a lot of focus on fundamentals, which I want to remind everyone. I know Mr. Beatty introduced them earlier. The staff that work with our students when they come in, it is an amazing help. Somewhere in that program, I wrote that it takes a village to run the band program. It really does. And we bring in people who are really great at what they do, are great at working with the kids, and we let them go to town. If you read through the program and you see those staff names, if you know any of them, and even if you don't, you can just come up to me and say, hey, those woodwinds sound really good. Hey, that percussion, hey, those brass, and I'll make sure that people who instruct them know how you feel. What we're about to have next, we will be featuring our Highland dancers, because when we go over there, there we go, somebody knows. It's going to be an opportunity for them to show off as well, and due to our fun backstage where we can't actually get back there, trust us, you don't really want to see what's back there. Unfortunately, they're going to have to come out in just little groups, so you get a little tape. Each group of dancers is going to do one of the 4 dances listed there. So at this time, I'm going to call up our Highland dancers doing the fling, and I believe we have someone piping for them as well. And we'll get started with our Highland dance set. As the next group prepares to come out, I would like to point out that what we do here at Dunedin High School is that since we've started a color guard, this will be their 3rd year. Primarily we've had just dancers in the past, but so now we combine both color guard activity and the dance activity to make just for a really inclusive experience for these kids. And what that means then is that there are people who, well, I'm a color guard person, and they learn how to dance. And then there's people who say, I'm a dancer, and they learn how to spin. And overall, it just makes it for a really rewarding experience. Some of the girls you see up here, some of them just started, some of them have been doing this for quite some time, but we love all of them, and they add so much to our program. Next up, I believe, hard to miss them, is the sword dance.
charge from the standpoint of the pipers. This is our pipe director, Mr. Ian Donaldson. He's going to explain about what's going to be going on in Scotland with our competition.
Pardon me, I'm a little dressed for tonight, but I was playing at a wedding earlier on before I got here, so that's why I'm in my kilt tonight. Mr. Bates asked me just to kind of talk about what the kids are going to be doing when they go over to this Highland Games competition. We are going to the European Championships to the small town Forres, which is north of Scotland near Inverness. Very tiny little town. They don't have many pipe bands in the north of Scotland, believe it or not. Most of the pipe bands are near the south, near the border of England. That's where the majority of all the pipe bands are. So this is the European Pipe Band Championships. They have 5 majors in the UK. That's a big thing. Major championships. So they're going to get over 100 pipe bands playing at this games in one day. They get all 100 bands to play from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Now, it's graded. It's a graded level as far as all the pipe bands. They don't all compete against one another. So the top grade is number 1. That would be like the NFL, Major League Baseball, that sort of thing. That's the professionals playing. Then you have the next tier down, which is grade 2, 3, 4A, and 4B, and 5. Now the high school, we entered them in 4B. We submitted the entry form to compete there. They reviewed it, and they came back to us not too long ago, I'd say maybe 3 weeks ago, and said, you guys have been upgraded into 4A. Do better than that. So we had to scramble a little bit because they have required tune sets. So we were preparing for a different tune set for 4B as opposed to 4A. So they had learned 2 new tunes, and once they did a magnificent job. And I had 2 great assistant instructors. I had Gary Smith and Tim Marchand, and they had scramble as well to come up with scores for these 2 new tunes. So they're doing really well. They'll play this set tonight. Okay, now when they go and play at this competition, they get graded. There's 2 piping judges, 1 drumming judge, and 1 called an ensemble judge. An ensemble judge, he's looking at how well the drum corps and the pipe corps play together. Okay, so they have these set tune requirements that they have to master. And basically they have to sound like 1 piper and 1 drummer. So that means unison, and also means intonation of the bagpipe. So it has to sound like you heard 1 bagpipe when it's properly in tune, all the drones are just a constant hum. And then you have all the melody out of the pipe shanty. So each piper, each bagpipe must sound identical, or close to identical. Same goes for the drums. Each snare drummer, each drum has to sound exactly the same, and they have to play exactly the same time. So if you hear a pipe band and you think you hear about 20 pipers, then you say that's a good indication that's a bad pipe band. Okay? So you has to sound like 1 piper, 1 drum. Now the other part of this, why they're going to this competition, like I said, they play, they're second on amongst 16 bands in their grade, and they're on at 11:07 in the morning. After that, I'm going to take them around and I'm going to show them what the NFL pipe bands do. Okay, they've seen some, they've studied some in class of these grade 1 bands, but there's no replacing for seeing a pipe band and hearing it live. Not at all. I mean, YouTube, DVD can't portray what you're really going to hear. I mean, you're going to step up to this band and it's going to actually push you back a little bit because of the sound, quality of sound. Just like the marching band. When the kids had an opportunity to play at the USF, the marching band, that's what I had experienced. This whole band just like pushing you back all these horns. So they're going to see and hear that live. And that's a great motivation, I think, for any piper or any drummer to see that. We don't have that here in Dunedin, that kind of magnitude of piping yet. Okay? But we're working on it. Now, this is a big Highland Games. We've got 100 bands going, and in Dunedin we had 16 bands. So if you went to the Dunedin Highland Games, you saw it's a really good games, but it's small in comparison to what we're going to. So there's 5 majors, which are the biggest Highland Games for pipe bands in the world, other than one other one, which is the North American Championships. It's held in Glengarry County, Ontario, Canada. That's where the city band is going to go in August to compete there. So there's 6 major pipe band championships, and we have the opportunity, and we're very fortunate that Mr. Beatty and his team can make this happen. pipe band has a really good chance of getting a good prize when we go to the contest. So again, that's only half the trip as far as I'm concerned, going to that Highland Games. The other half is to share the opportunity that I had to play and hear these bands perform live. So I think that's going to be a very awesome experience for these kids. So give them a hand. We're going to play a few tunes for them.
As our drumline, some of them you just saw, going the wrong way. They're going to be right back up here momentarily. They're just going to unceremoniously come on down. Yeah, there he goes. And they're even going to appear from the ether behind me in the realm of lots of old props. I want to take a moment to point out on that sheet, your program, that there are a whole bunch of thank yous. And I'm stealing a line from Mr. Hepburn, and I've heard him say it. Like me, he has to get up in front of a whole bunch of people and recognize everyone that has contributed to the good things that his school has done. And so I have to get up and talk about all the amazing people that work with our kids. And if you know me, the junior, senior parents and alumni parents that have worked with me, you know I'm very, very forgetful. The students will tell you that too. They will tell me something, and 5 minutes later I won't have remembered what they've said. And it's usually like, you know I have a doctor's appointment, right? Okay, great, go to the doctor, bring me that note. And then of course the next day, where were you? Well, I told you, I was at the doctor. Oh, that's right, oh yeah. So if I've forgotten anyone, please owe it to my head and not to my heart. We would not be going to Scotland. We would not have done anything this year without the love and without the help of all of the boosters and the family members, the friends, the volunteers who have made this year possible. So if you're out there and you've done anything at all this year, if it's not too much to ask, could we have you stand and be recognized? I would really love to be able to have everyone see, if we could even turn up the house lights a little bit, have everyone see and clap for those individuals. If you've done anything, please, anything at all, you've worked at a concession stand, you've helped kids get the uniforms, you've got kids, picked up kids, you've helped anyway. Thank you. And some of you are being really humble and you're not standing up, and even with the spotlight, I can see a few of you out there. We really do love all of you, and your kids might not tell you all the time. In fact, they might tell you the exact opposite all the time. But they love you, and I want to tell you on their behalf, thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for applauding for our kids. Thank you for not spoiling things in the auditorium that could be filled with stuff. We're going to conclude our program with what we're going to be performing. I believe it's Friday. There is a parade. It's for Pipe Fest, and it's going to be the largest gathering of pipers and drummers, I think ever. If you look on their website, pipefest.com, I think it's pipefeststirling.com, you'll see that there's over, I want to say, 1,600 registered participants, and that's just performers. There's also, I want to say last time I looked, about 400 to 500 clans that we're going to show up to. So this is going to be one humongous parade, and we have the honor of being the only marching band with bagpipes to be in that parade. So we're taking all of the tunes, or some of the tunes that they would be playing as they go down the street, and we've just made sure that everybody gets to play along. One more thing before they come out here, because I know I'm going to get asked about this. They said, why are they not in their kilts? We thought about it. And all my uniform parents out there that have helped out, you know why. Because as soon as we tell them to put on their uniforms, mysteriously, everything goes missing. Their hats, their flashes, everything. And it's always, it was stolen. Well, what happened to it? It got stolen. Did you leave it on the chair and all in one spot like we asked you to? It got stolen. So we just decided, that uniforms are on lockdown until we go, because we wouldn't want to lose any parts before we go over there. So at this point in time, we're going to have the band and pipers come back out. We'll be performing our parade set for you. Before we play our final selection, I just want to say a couple things about this past week. They've put in about, oh geez, is it 50 hours? My math really got James, 50 hours? 40? 45? 40? They've put in a ton of work, and this music they got this week, that also included getting alumni back into the program, that included having middle school students that may have only have played it in their 8th grade year, maybe total, in some cases like 5 to 6 songs in their whole year, and now we're playing 20 songs in a week. It's been a tremendous journey, and please, while we're over there, keep in mind that these children have roaming data charges. If you're one of those awesome people that got one of those orange phones, I believe they're called, or one of the phones that Miss Mooney spoke about, that we've been collecting money for, you can get in touch with them then. But it's been a great journey for these kids, and we want you to know that while we're over there, we're going to keep them safe, we're going to keep them fed, we're going to keep them very, very busy, and they're going to come back exhausted with lots of stories. We hope that you're just as excited for these kids as they are about going. Sometimes they take things for granted. I think all of you family members out there are pretty familiar with this in some cases. Are we aware? I'm seeing some heads like, yes, I know exactly what that means. They know that this is a special trip. We have beat it into them. They really do know that to go overseas and represent your country means just the world. And the fact that we're going to trust these kids to do it says a lot about who they are and the work that they've put in. So can we get one more round of applause before we finish for all these kids? And Mr. Wiggy is right to take the microphone away from you.
No problem. Mr. Donaldson, come on over here too. Folks, there's a lot of people that are thanked, but there's 2 people that put this together and make this band what it is over the last 3 years. It's Mr. Black and Mr. Donaldson. Kids, let's hear it for these 2 people. Are these kids not incredible? All right, I'll turn it over to Mr. Black.
Thank all of you for coming out tonight.